The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear, and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, Come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance, we shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us, let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
I think it's really important to study history because we have to learn where we came from as a people, as a country, as a culture. And unless we know where we came from, we can never move forward, because where we come from really shapes who we are today.
Welcome to Thoughts, Camera, Action. This next story is going to look at a young lady by the name of Kimpa Vita, who was also from the Congo, the same place as King Movember, also known as King Alfonso I. And it was around this time period that this young lady rose from the ashes of the confusion that was taking place in the Congo to become a bold, outspoken young woman. And she didn't really go with the general rhetoric that was being advocated by the Catholic Church, meaning she was very much an outspoken antagonist of the Catholic Church, to the extremes where she allegedly said that the Messiah was not a Caucasian in appearance, but similar to the people of his day. As you might imagine, these words, even when spoken today, cause a feeling of uneasiness and uncomfortableness even among black and white and in between believers. This lady was very courageous and bold when it came to speaking out against the foreign oppression of her people. Kimpa Vita was 22 years old, and for these outspoken, frank, unpolitically correct opinions, she was caught and burnt alive. You could say she was an African version of Joan of Arc. A female who stood up against the powers that be unapologetically and courageously. This story will seek to just give you an overstanding and an insight into the life of Kimpa Vita. And as always, provoking thought.
On the 2nd of July 1706, in Mbamza, Congo, the city of the Congo Kingdom, a 22-year-old young woman was burned alive for the revolution against slavery. Her name is Kimpa Vita, the mother of the African Revolution.
C'est comme ça que je la vois, une jeune femme audacieuse, courageuse, qui s'est sacrifiée pour ses idées, pour son peuple, et qui était une espèce de porte-flambeau de la liberté des peuples africains.
C'est très moderne en fait, l'image de Kimpa Vita est très moderne, parce qu'encore une fois, je dirais que chaque génération, il y aura toujours des personnes qui vont dénoncer les injustices, il y aura toujours des personnes qui vont se dire tiens, un autre monde est possible. Kimpa Vita, je pense qu'elle a compris qu'en fait, il fallait ne plus accepter la condition des Noirs dans son pays et donc de se révolter quelque part. Et ce qui était très important aussi pour moi, c'est montrer aussi qu'en règle générale, souvent, le changement de société provient aussi des jeunes. Parce que quand elle a pris conscience qu'elle pouvait justement mettre en question la société dans laquelle elle était assez jeune. Et donc elle a créé ce mouvement derrière elle pour dire voilà, soyez fiers de ce que vous êtes, soyez fiers de la couleur que vous avez.
So she was one of the priests or priestesses that helped the people solve their problems. And so she began to preach, again, that they were the people of the book, that Yeshua was black, that Mary was black. Imagine this African Congolese woman in the 1700s preaching this message around the countryside, centering her people, our people, in the scriptural story. Again, this is not new, but many times when brothers and sisters from Africa and even people like Prophet William Crowdy from America in the 1800s would say that we were the biblical Hebrews, it would be ignored. Unfortunately for this sister, she was killed, and when she was killed, they ground her bones to a powder. That is how dangerous the message of who the true Hebrews are is. They grounded her bones to a powder to try to get rid of her. But over the past few years, people have been uncovering her because she was indeed a prophetess. She was saying what many of us are saying now, hundreds of years ago.
The 15th century was a time when the legacy of powerful African kingdoms were wickedly invaded by the West. The African people's rich and plentiful history was interrupted by slavery, genocide, and the deportation of Africans to new lands. The Great Kingdom of Congo was no exception. A century later, in 1704, a fearless young woman decided to fight for her country. And while she tragically met her demise and was burned alive on the 2nd of July 1706, she will always be remembered throughout her kingdom as Kimpa Vita, the mother of the African Revolution.
a résisté et il a posé des questions de conscience, nous permettant d'oublier la trahison.
And when you look at many of the Bantu languages spoken in the Congo, you see many Hebrew words. So some may try to call her Catholic, some may try to say, oh, she was just a crazy woman. But actually, now the proof is coming out that many of the people in the Congo are actually Hebrews. And this was a sister doing this work when many of our people were being taught a false gospel. She was trying to teach her people the true good news of the word of Yah. Because some say identity doesn't matter, but if identity didn't matter, then why were the colors of the people changed? And so I just want to say her name, Kimpa Vita. And I want us to say her name, to remember her, to read about her, Google her, teach your kids, especially your young girls, about her. Right now, there are so many Congolese immigrants in America. My old roommate, Barbara, used to work with them as a sister from Tanzania. And we hear about all types of refugees. We hear about refugees from the Middle East. And we should welcome all the strangers and the refugees among us as believers. But how come no one ever talks to you about the Congolese refugees that are being dumped in hoods all around America to fend for themselves? And they've been raped, they've been traumatized. The Congo has been under attack. Even with King Leopold, what many people don't know is, yes, there were small numbers of Congo people taken into slavery. But what many people don't know is that actually there were basically rubber plantations in the Congo. So there were some of our Hebrew family that were enslaved, living in the same conditions we did here, but maybe being able to keep their language and keep their customs, but they were on their own land. And that's a whole nother level of trauma. Yes, it's traumatizing to be taken from your land, but imagine someone sets up a plantation on your land and they make you work it. And if you didn't turn in that rubber for King Leopold, you were getting limbs cut off. So sometimes we think Deuteronomy 28 only happened in America or the Caribbean and Latin America. No, it happened right in Africa as well. She was a woman of faith, of truth, and of theology. This is a quote from her that I think sums up true having a sincere faith in Yah, because it's really not just about keeping the commandments, getting immersed, wearing the fringes, but you're not really connected to Yah. This is a quote from Kimpa. Yah wants intention. It is the intention that Yah grasps. Immersion serves nothing. It is the intent that Yah takes. Confession serves nothing. It is the intention that Yah wants. Good works serve no purpose. Intention is what Yah wants. And this quote basically means you could do all the right things, but if your heart is not right, Yah is not going to accept it. So even in teaching about Hebrew identity and the awakening, if our intention is hate and bitterness and just to be prideful, Yah's really not going to take it. When she was going around the countryside preaching for her people as someone that her people ordained to deal with their collective issues, she was not doing this because she was so fixated on the Portuguese Catholics and she hated them. She was doing this out of a love for her people. And so even as we share this information, what is your intention? Your intention should be more focused on your people than on hating someone else, because our enemies will be dealt with. And even how they killed her and grinded up her bones will be dealt with. Yah is not slack in taking care of his children.
Losing power. It's draining.
Where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand with.
Where's the character in that? Whole conscious community. Infidels.
Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed. That's till the world over. Coming through with another video. I'm glad y'all catching this live stream as you come in. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. It's good to see y'all. We got another encouraging video today, another encouraging stream. Thanks for the support and thanks for the love, family. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is spiritual warfare. We're going to get in depth. If you all like that song right there, that's from my SoundCloud. It's called Infidels. If you haven't followed me on SoundCloud, go to I Am New Breed on SoundCloud. Follow me at I Am New Breed. And as you can see, that was the complete destruction of the conscious community through those bars right there. A total breakdown of what you see on social media with the conscious community and the scam artists. And I just wanted to play that song to kind of set the tone for the strength and the endurance and the courage that we got to have going against the evil devices of those who are coming up against us. Because that's the mentality we got to have. We have to have a spirit of courage and strength in this day and age. And what we're going to talk about today is your identity. We're going to talk about having authority in the spiritual realm. Real authority. Bringing the fallen gods terror. Bringing those demons terror. I want you all to become demon slayers at the end of this video. By the time this video is done airing, I want you to become a demon slayer. And I want you to be able to discern, I want you to be able to discern what's taking place right now. So that's what we're going to talk about, because it's important more than ever.
Now, Xfinity Mobile gives you more flexible data. You can choose to share data between lines, mix with unlimited, or switch it up at any time, all on the most reliable wireless network. Switch and save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Plus, get $300 off when you buy a new Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Go to XfinityMobile.com today.
Alexa, did the government release the coronavirus?
According to Event 201, the government planned this event, created the virus, and had a simulation of how the countries would react. This simulation occurred October 18, 2019. The government released the virus among the population and has lost control of the outbreak.
And why would you do that? I don't know. Why would they have done that? Such a thing. I don't know. Let's see why. Let's do the math. Let's go back into time.
Astonishing celestial event. The poisonous comet that witnessed the construction of the Egyptian pyramids returns back into our solar system by the end of April. The comet is expected to become as bright as the stars of Ursa Major, and it will be visible with our naked eyes. We have another asteroid coming in us in a few days, April 11. It will not hit us, but it's about the size of the Empire State Building, 1,500 feet. If it does impact, it will not be good, obviously. But it's going at 55,000 miles an hour, that one. And you can see the video before, just a few videos before this one concerning that. But this one is returning after thousands of years. Stargazers may soon be treated to quite a spectacle, as the ancient comet that has not been seen near Earth for thousands of years is now making the return trip to our part of the galactic space. This is what Ludmila Koshrin explains to us. She's astronomer of Moscow Planetarium, and she says that this comet is C2019Y4. It's an Atlas comet, and the core contains poisonous chemical compound called cyanogen. In other words, it has cyanide in there. It visited our solar system last time around 4000 BC, that's 6,000 years ago, back when the Great Pyramids were believed to be built in Egypt. it may become, I think it's much older than that, but anyway, she says it may become the brightest one in our sky for the last 7 years. And she explains that due to the solar wind, the comet starts sprouting two tails, one gaseous and the other comprised of dust, which give it an especially spectacular look. And according to her, the comet will pass Earth at a distance of about 117 million kilometers, May 27, and on May 31st, it will approach the Sun at a distance of about 38 million kilometers, which is less than the distance between the Sun and Mercury. That's the closest planet to the heart of our solar system. Now, the astronomers noted that the comet's greenish color is a product of the cyanide, the cyanogen contained within its core. It becomes fluorescent when bombarded by UV radiation, and that by the end of April, the comet will become as bright as the stars of Ursa Major, so it will be visible to the naked eye. Well, I hope it doesn't come too close to us, because poisonous gas coming too close to the area of our planet would definitely be a devastating event. Anyway, this sounds pretty astonishing celestial event. Poisonous comet.
What the fuck? This is why they want us to stay in the house.
The Egyptian pyramids.
This is what shit. What the fuck? This is why they want us to stay in the house. This
the end of April.
is why the fuck they want us to stay in the fucking house. It ain't the coronavirus. It ain't the radiation. It's this. What the fuck is this? What is this? What is that? What is this? Hold on. What is this? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is this in the sky right now? What's going on? They're not airplanes. They doing formations and shit. Like, what's going on? For real, for real. Somebody please explain to me, man. What's going on, man? Hey, this shit crazy right now. What the fuck?
What's going on? Okay. What is that? It doesn't look the same on the recorder. What the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my goodness. 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 Lord, please. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm scared. I'm shaking right now. And I'm scared. Because this is fucking crazy. What is this, please? Oh my god, I can't keep my camera still. Okay, what is this? Oh, shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. What the fuck is that? No, they're not. They're not fucking floating lanterns, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm shaking right now. I'm tripping. No, you don't understand. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, pues mire.
Mire, vea cómo se pone rojo. Mire, vea la luz. Vea.
Sí, amor, eso es que hay una montaña. Ponga la cámara.
Vea, acabo de salir de encima de la cabeza. Encima de la cabeza de Grey Bean voy mirando cómo va saliendo esa luz. Se me dio un escalofrío el hijo de puta.
Por se está descargando.
¡Jorleni, muévase!
Ahora pues, amor.
Eso sabe, quién sabe qué. No, allá no hay nada. Allá no hay carretera ni hay nada, Grey Bean.
Allá no hay nada, Gravy.
Allá no hay nada. Mire, vea, no.
Ay. No, es que como unos platillos.
Allá no hay carretera, Gravy.
Se no puede.
Ah, ya este.
Pero usted no vio que acaba de salir.
No vio como apareció una cosa larga y después se desvaneció y quedó esas dos luces pequeñas, Grey.
It is moving. A drago? No, it's kind of breaking up. Oh no, it's moving like up.
We're at the Grange Hall exit on 75, and this is over the sky right now. What the hell is this? They were flickering lights, and there's a bunch of people pulled over on 75. What the fuck? They're changing colors? Yeah, but what is it?
Pues, ¿qué está pasando, amigos? Sí se está acabando el mundo. Las trompetas del cielo, aparte se escuchan, o sea, qué pedo, los relámpagos, amigos. O sea, pues yo estoy panicado, amigos. Vean. Los relámpagos, amigos. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando en la CDMX? ¿Qué está pasando en el mundo, amigos? Se está muriendo mucha gente, amigos. No puede ser posible. Vean, esta lluvia es una lluvia. Vean.
It just has that feeling of uniqueness. It's not a classical viewpoint. It was found through exploration and working with the landscape and telling a story about the landscape. And again, we were blessed with some really beautiful overhead coronas. And I've barely had a chance to go through half of the shots from this trip, and I don't want to rush them just for the sake of the vlog, but at this point the vlog was getting in the way of my photography, so alright guys, I think I'm going to end. It just has that feeling of uniqueness. It's not a classical viewpoint. It was found through exploration and working with the landscape and telling a story about the landscape. And again, we were blessed with some really beautiful overhead coronas. And I've barely had a chance to go through half of the shots from this trip, and I don't want to rush them just for the sake of the vlog, but at this point the vlog was getting in the way.
What is that? Are you guys seeing this? What is this? Sharper Desk, there's something weird going on the eastern horizon. Western horizon. Is that like a missile or something? What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh my gosh, I don't know. It looks like a missile or something. What in the heck is going on? This is something I've never seen. That is crazy. What is that? What is going on? Yeah, I could talk about it. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, I'm rolling on it. Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? Holy cow. I'm rolling on it. Oh my gosh. Copy. Jerry Ferguson. Jerry Ferguson. What is that?
The spiritual aspect of everything that's taking place. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a shift in the spiritual realm. There's a shift. And the satanic powers, the demons, those who work principalities against us, they're losing power. It's draining from them. The people who are righteous, the ones who have been isolated, targeted, the ones who have been shunned, belittled, discouraged, beat down, are now rising to the occasion. And we got to understand what this shift means for us. Now I'm going to be straight up with y'all. This channel is not designed to make you feel comfortable. Not at all. If you're expecting me to get on here and tell you that everything is going to be okay, that everything is going to be just peaches and cream, there's going to be roses and sun and sunshine and everything is going to be great, you're looking at the wrong channel. I'm going to tell you right now, the battle that we're about to face is going to be a rough battle. All right? It's not going to be easy. Are we going to overcome that battle? Absolutely. It won't be an easy battle, but it'll be a battle that we can win, that we will win. And there's no doubt about that. Now, I'm also not here to sit here and rant and rave about 5G, about viruses, about everything else that's a danger to us right now. I'm not going to rant about these things and offer no solution. I'm not going to rant about them and then tell everybody to wake up with no solution. Wake up to what? Wake up to have no direction? And that's what a lot of these content creators are doing. A lot of these social media personalities, they'll rant about something, but then they offer no solution. So they'll get you riled up in fear and then offer no direction. No, I'm gonna offer some direction. So on this channel, we're gonna go right down the middle of what's taking place in this society. And we ain't gonna hold no punches. All right? First and foremost, you got a lot of people telling you what you need to be scared of right now. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to stomach. It's hard for me to stomach strong, powerful, supposed leaders telling people what they should be scared of. It's mind-boggling to me. Because how could you propel yourself into a leadership position if you yourself is confused and afraid? Makes no sense. I'm gonna tell you what they not telling, right? I'm gonna tell you what they not telling. Proverbs 29 and 23. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whosoever putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. That's the truth they're not telling. See, this internet is a net. Think about it, an internet. What is a net used to do? A net is used to track. What else do they call the internet? They call it the World Wide Web. What do you do with a web? You trap with a web, right? So they want to get you caught up in a trap, in a snare. Because if you're afraid, then you'll do whatever your predecessors are telling you to do out of fear. And you can easily walk into your own demise because you are quote unquote afraid. So being scared will cause you to snare. So we're going to be fearless. We're going to conquer this battle. There's something interesting I want y'all to listen to. I want y'all to listen to this sound bite from Mike Tyson. And I know Mike Tyson, he's an entertainer. He's involved in sports. He is probably dealing with the same satanic sacrifices that the rest of these industry puppets are doing. But you know what? Sometimes you can extract information from certain people. And I want to play this sound bite because this is the mentality that I think we should have moving forward. And this is a lesson on intimidation. I want y'all to hear Mike Tyson give a lesson on intimidation.
Guys are just pure brute strength and intimidation. Most guys are just pretty much intimidated. They lost the fight before they even got hit. Most guys. I knew the art of skullduggery. These guys, I knew how to beat these guys psychologically.
Hold on, he said a lot of these guys lost the fight before they even got hit. I knew how to beat these guys psychologically. Now I want you to continue. Make sure y'all let me know if y'all can hear the audio. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio that I'm playing with Mike Tyson. We good? All right, bet.
Before I even got in the ring with them. As soon as I come into the ring, I'm gloved. No, stop it. That's not true. While in the dressing room, 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down. I'm pushing the lever in the back of my glove, breaking the middle of the glove so my knuckle could pierce through the leather. I feel my knuckle piercing against the tight leather gloves on the Everlast boxing glove. I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. The closer, more confidence I get. The closer, more confidence I get. All during my training, I've been afraid of this man. I thought this man might be capable of beating me. I've dreamed of him beating me. But I always stayed afraid of him. But the closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one could beat me.
He said, the closer I get to the ring, the more confident I am. The closer it gets to the fight, the closer he gets to the ring, the more confident he gets. Once he gets in the ring, he feels like a god. That's quite interesting. That's a quite interesting way of looking at it, because the closer that the social construct caves in is the more confident you should become. And he said, listen, I thought about losing to this guy. I thought about being afraid, being humiliated, being beaten. But the closer it gets to that time, the stronger I get. By the time I get to that ring, I feel like a god. Now, you can take a lot from that, because we living in that day and age where the time is coming. We are in the last days. But here's the kicker to all of this. This is a battle that we should be building confidence in, because we know that our power source is the Most High. Now, when you talk about the Most High, you're talking about the most powerful energy force known to man. You're talking about the one who divided the seas. The one that said, let there be light, and there was light. Everything can be done in his hands. Understand that. So we should have great courage right now. We should be gaining confidence, because everything that prophecy has said is coming true. Now I want you to listen a little bit more to this.
I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his armor, boom, and one of his eyes may move, and then I know I have him. Then
He said he keeps his eye on his opponent the whole time. He doesn't move. Once he sees one chink in the armor, boom, time to go. See, we watching what they're doing. We're analyzing. That's why I find it important every day to promote awareness to what's taking place, because we got to be the seers. It's time for the seers to see. All you dreamers out there who dream, it's time for y'all to prophesy and teach of the dreams you're seeing. Because we got to know thy enemy. That's why you watch them. That's why he's using his eyes to pierce through the soul. You got to watch your enemy. And then you're going to see the chink in the armor. And it's going to be an opportunity afforded to us to do what it is we're sent forth to do in life in general. This is something that you can use in life. This is a life lesson, regardless of who it's coming from. But certain things you can extract from certain people. And that's real. That's how you should look at it. Now, when it comes down to it, if you really believe that you're chosen, because I see that word being thrown around a lot by social media personalities. They talk about the chosen people. Oh, you're chosen. Oh, they throw around that terminology so loosely. Not here on my platform. When we say we're chosen, we believe it. We believe that we have authority over dominions and spirits. We believe that we have power over demons. We believe that we're chosen to be in this particular place, in this time, right now, to fight during the last days. We believe that. It's in the fabric of our being. And we know that the spiritual realm is real. And we know what we're facing. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we know the validity of the spiritual realm. We know that we're not just battling against armies, military, police. We know we're not just battling against sicknesses, viruses. We know that we're not just fighting financial battles. We know that it's a spiritual war. We know that it's something going on around us all the time. And when we see the so-called powers that be, and I say so-called for a reason, because even them, they are praising idol gods. They are reverencing demons and spirits to get their powers. See, if you have an atheistic mentality, if that's the way you think, that's the way you choose to believe, so be it. But it's not going to stop prophecy, number one. And the people who control this world, they believe in God and they believe in the devil. Although they work on the left-hand side, they believe. They know that prophecy is real. They plan accordingly. So whether you choose to believe in the truth or not, the truth is still going to happen. Whether you choose to believe in a spiritual realm or not, things are still going to continue to happen within the spiritual realm. And that's the facts.
Proverbs 2. My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil, and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Proverbs 3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days, and long life, and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. Proverbs 4. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life.
What the fuck? This is why they want us to stay in the house.
Path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil.
Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. That opening makes so much more sense now, how we need to understand the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. And that's why many people fail to see the significance of many of the events that are currently happening on the earth, because they have absolutely no understanding of the events that happened in the past. The Most High is making these Gentiles, expose everything. But these events are just going by, and most people have no clue, don't understand why these things are happening. But we're going to show you why today. This is exactly why the other nations are instructed to come under the instruction of the people of the Most High. Because if you leave it up to the Gentiles, they're just gonna, these things are just gonna go over their heads, and they're gonna get absolutely no understanding whatsoever. Or they're gonna see it and they're gonna twist it into something that it has nothing to do with. A sister actually sent me this in my email, and I just couldn't believe it. And the thing is, I can't believe that even I haven't heard more people even talking about it, especially people in our community. I mean, I'm not too worried about the Gentiles getting much of this, and making videos and explaining things, because a lot of them seem to think that the Catholic Church is the whore, but they're not. Even though they follow hand in hand in lockstep with the Catholic Church, they swear that the Catholic Church is actually Babylon, the Antichrist and everything else. But the Christian churches follow exactly the same things, just about, that the Catholic Church does. The Christian churches are just the little daughters of the whore. That's all they are. But let's just leave that and not even waste our time talking about that, because if they do come across a story, they'll bastardize that story too and mess it up like they always do. So let us go ahead and show you exactly what's happening according to what the Most High is talking about, according to the scriptures that you see and many of the ones that you don't see. This is amazing. The Vatican watchers stunned as Pope Francis drops title Vicar of Christ, assumes power as Jorge Mario Bergoglio in his own name, fulfilling John 5:43, prophecy of Antichrist. See, there they go. They're already messing all that stuff up. But hey, whatever. He dropped the title Vicar of Christ. This is absolutely amazing, because I did a little bit of research, looked at a little bit, and I think it went back to, they started trying to use the Vicar of Christ in around 88 to 107 AD, and depending on the Pope, it had a little bit of different meaning. But the same thing is, the main thing is that they tried to use that they were the Vicar of Christ. So I just kind of went on here to Wikipedia just real quick so we can understand what that means when they say the Vicar of Christ. The Vicar of Christ is a term used in different ways and with different theological connotations throughout history. The original notion of a vicar is an earthly representative of Christ. Okay, but it's also used in the sense of person acting as parish priest in place of a real person. So pretty much, he was like the earthly representative of Christ, and that's when a lot of these popes were able to make their declarations, and no one would challenge them. You see, that's where they got their power from. Just like a lot of them would make declarations, and if people would try to go at them and make them explain things or question their authority, they just ignored them. That's what these churches have always done, and they've always placed themselves as like people of authority. And that if we wanted something changed, we had to go to them and explain everything to them and get them to agree. Kind of like some of these debates when people won't, they won't go into the justification for the 80 books, but then they want to try to dog any other book in the Bible, even though they can never prove that the Most High approved 80 books. Same thing. Their position, they seem to think, is above everyone else's, and that you have to pretty much prove your books, but they don't have to prove the 80 books. Well, that authority came as, for these Catholics, for the Pope, as taking that whole title of Vicar of Christ. Now, here in 2020, in April, the Pope has just pretty much drops the title of Vicar of Christ. And that is absolutely huge as far as prophecy is concerned. It's just pretty much a declaration that they have no power. Absolutely, they've lost their power. That's what they're saying right here. We already knew that they have lost their power. The Most High already showed us. As we came to the end of our punishment, that he was going to be transferring that cup from us, with all the dregs in it, to them. So you think that it's any coincidence that today, or whenever it was, the last couple of days, that the Pope has dropped the title of Vicar of Christ, or he's dropped the title of the representative of Christ on earth? Now, how anyone can still be watching the Pope and these pastors online and watching their sermons and whatever else, I have no idea. I just think that it's just people who are pretty much oblivious to reality, because these guys are telling you to your face pretty much that they have no more power. The Most High has taken their position away from them. The fact that all their churches and everything else are closed, and I'm sure a lot of you guys heard that story about the guy who opened up his church for a couple of sermons and ended up getting an arrest warrant and got put in jail. And I think a lot of his people ended up catching the CV by going to his services. And that lets you know right there, the Most High is not down with that. Even if you try to open it up, I'm sure the Most High is going to definitely make you pay for trying to go to these churches, because those times of those churches are done. Most High is, like I said, it's not the nations that are slowly making that noose tighter and tighter. It's the Most High. You know, like I said before, you know, at first when everything started closing down, oh, it'd only be for a week. Oh, it'd only be for 2 weeks. And my job, I was telling people, because we were getting ready to get shut down, I said, they're like, oh yeah, well hopefully everything gets better in a week or two. I'm like, yeah, right. I said, we ain't coming back to work. What are you talking about? And you should see the looks on the faces of the people. They're like, well, yeah, things are gonna get better. I'm like, no, we're not. No, they're not. I said, we're not coming back. I said, don't. I said, we're not coming back to work. And they were they were getting pretty scared, you know. And but now you hear them saying things like, I can't believe how bad this is. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, they know. I said, we already told you guys that this stuff was going to happen, but you all don't want to listen. But that's okay. I said, you know, you keep wanting to live in La La Land. That's not a problem. I said, but La La Land is getting that whole thought process, that whole dream is becoming a nightmare rather quickly. So let's take a little bit. Let's go into this article a little bit. I have a couple things I want to share. Okay. Archbishop Vigano said it's as if Pope Francis now views himself as becoming master of the church, free to abolish. Yeah, that's not what it is. I'm not going to read all that. Roman Catholics from deep within the Vatican are sounding the alarm bells today because Pope Francis is once again doing wacky end time stuff. Today's story comes from an article on the Catholic site LifeSite. News from a statement they received from Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano. Vigano is quite alarmed that Pope Francis has dropped the title Vicar of Christ in the annual Vatican yearbook and instead has listed himself in his own name as Jorge Mario Bergoglio. LifeSite News and Vigano are rightly alarmed by this breach of long-standing Vatican protocol. But if they knew anything about Bible prophecy, they'd really be quaking in their boots. What Pope Francis did is a prophecy of Antichrist. Yeah, no, it's not. See, they're still waiting for an Antichrist, but I have another one I actually wanted to read. But I just wanted you guys to see that title, 'cause that's the main thing from this article. Okay? That he actually dropped that. And let me see here. There's another one, from LifeSite. Okay? The actual article right here. I'm going to read a little bit of that one. Okay? April 4th, 2020, LifeSite News. Former papal nuncio Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano has called the dropping of Pope Francis's essential title, Vicar of Christ, from the 2020 Pontifical Yearbook, an act that appears to officially alter the papacy, such that the Pope no longer recognizes himself as guardian. Okay? So this is, like I said, this is absolutely huge. This change in the layout and content of an official text of the Catholic Church cannot be ignored, nor is it possible to attribute it to a gesture of humility on the part of Francis, which is not in keeping with his name being so prominently featured, wrote Vigano in a statement he sent to LifeSite News. Instead, it seems possible to see in it the admission passed over in silence of a sort of usurpation, whereby it is not the servus servorum Dei, the servant of the servants of God, who reigns, but the person of Jorge Maria Bergoglio, who has officially disavowed being the Vicar of Christ, the successor of the Prince of the Apostles and the Supreme Pontiff, as if they were annoying trappings of the past, only mere historical titles. That's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I'm going to read that one part. He says, who has officially disavowed being the Vicar of Christ. So he's disavowed being the representative of Christ on earth. Now, people who don't understand what's going on, they're going to twist it into, now the Antichrist is going to come soon and we're going to start the 7-year tribulation. We've already broken that down and how that's not the case. How we've already been going. See, they're thinking things are about to ramp up, which they are going to ramp up for them. But they've pretty much just ignored the fact that we've been at the bottom and going through hell for the last 500 plus years. So yeah, I guess maybe they can look at it that way, because yeah, things are going to ramp up for them as far as punishment, retribution, things like that. But the Most High is going to protect His chosen people. Now I got a couple things I wanted to take a look at. Dum Diversas, 1452, and what that represents right there. Okay, let me get that real quick. Stuff always be disappearing off my phone. Let me get this real quick. I think King Drop, he's the one that got me hip to this a couple years ago about the whole Dum Diversas. Alright, Quirino definitely got into this as well. But Dum Diversas, okay, called Until Different, is a papal bull issued in June 18th, 1452 by Pope Nicholas V. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to conquer Saracens and pagans and consign them to perpetual servitude. We know that that was actually set up for us, for the Most High's chosen people. And it said that pretty much Dum Diversas is until different. They could put us in perpetual servitude until the times change. Well, lo and behold, as of today, now that there's the Vicar of Christ, times have changed. That time of change is here. See, before they could just make these announcements because they were the representatives of Christ. And at that time, the Most High was bringing them out of their captivity and giving them the power to be able to do these kinds of things. Because they were used as the Most High's whooping stick. So pretty much until different, they were allowed to pretty much put us in perpetual servitude. Then that is correct. Until the Most High chose to take that power away from them, or like they said, until different, they were allowed to keep us in perpetual servitude. Well, now the fact that this Pope here has just told you that he is not the Vicar of Christ, he is not the representative of Christ, they're letting you know that they have no power. So therefore, Dum Diversas is over. Just like that. Now I'm going to show you how this was supposed to happen, and we're going to go over this really quick in the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, and it's the Testament of Judah. If you have the Old Testament pseudepigrapha, it's on page 801, chapter 23, and it's going to talk about the things that may. This is Dum Diversas is this part right here in the middle of 23, about how we messed up. So Most High gave them the power. They set up Dum Diversas, and they were going to keep us in perpetual servitude until whenever. Well, that whenever has just showed up, because all their power was the fact that they were representing Christ, and they were representing the Most High's will that we were going to go into perpetual servitude until our time, and our sentence was up. Now the Most High has taken away their power, taken away their authority, taken away their representation of what the Most High's will is, because His will is not for us to continue in perpetual servitude anymore. Hence why you see all over the world societies crumbling right before your eyes. Now let me read a little bit for this Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. In response to this, the Lord will bring you famine and plague, death and sword, punishment by a siege, scattering by enemies like dogs, the scorn of friends, destruction and putrefaction of your eyes, slaughter of infants, the plunder of your sustenance, the rape of your possessions, consumption of the Most High sanctuary, by fire, a desolate land, and yourselves enslaved by the Gentiles. Right there is your Dum Diversas. Right there was when they got their opportunity to be brought back on top. They made these decrees, Dum Diversas, until different. We were going to be their slaves. That was talked about in the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, in the chapter talking about Judah, and chapter 23. All right. Now, as you can see, the Most High is working to bring us out of that, but He's also you know, he's showing us so we can see the truth and we can see what's going on, but the vast majority of the world has absolutely no understanding. Let me continue a little bit more here. And they shall castrate some of you as eunuchs for their wives until you return to the Lord in integrity. Okay, and here it is now. Us, they're going to keep doing these things until we do what? Until we return, okay, to the Most High in integrity of heart, penitent and living according to all the Lord's commands. Then the Lord will be concerned for you in mercy and will free you from captivity under your enemies. So there's the end of Dum Diversas. And we had to turn back to him. He had to give us the first and second stick. He had to show us the truth. And just like all those other prophecies are coming to pass, the Most High is now removing the other nations from our lands and increasing our numbers day by day. And he's also making these declarations just like this one right here about the Pope taking away the title of Vicar of Christ. See how that's working? It's all making so much sense now. Now, you know, we also have the president who has been making a lot of declarations, and they had taken off the seal from his podium. And you know, removing that seal is also kind of like a representation of removing the power of the United States. You can see now how the Most High is showing you things, but you know, you have to have the proper context. You have to understand the fact that his people have already been going through their Jacob's trouble for the last 500 plus years. So now the removal of the seal on the podium for the president is showing you how the Most High is taking away power from the people or from the entities or from the Gentiles that punished the southern kingdom. Now you have the Vicar of Christ, that whole title being taken away, showing how the Most High has now stripped the power from the people or the Gentiles that destroyed the northern kingdom. He's making these announcements worldwide. But if the people refuse to look at the history and refuse to look at the Most High's chosen people, they're going to continue to look forward for punishment and not look backwards at the punishment that we've already received. And see, that's why I don't get it with a lot of these groups that refuse, even like I said, within our own nation, they are looking forward to, well, the chip and looking forward to the 7-year tribulation period. That's what's coming on the people who have never gone through anything. We've gone through all of our, our tough times. We've paid the price for what our fathers have done. And now the Most High is opening up an avenue for us to return back to Him. Just like it said there in Judah, the Testament of Judah. At the end, that last part, it said, it said, then the Lord will be concerned for you. Well, let me go a little further. Until you return to the Lord in integrity of heart, penitent and living according to all the Lord's commands. Then the Lord will be concerned for you in mercy and will free you from captivity under your enemies. See, we're looking to get freed from the captivity of our enemies. The Most High is actually working to do that right now. The Most High has not forgotten His people. The whole world seems to think so. The whole world seems to think that the Most High, forgot about His people and He pretty much just let them just slide on in, and they don't have to follow any of His rules. They can do whatever they want, and the Most High is going to forgive them and rapture them away. See, that's exactly what happens when they don't understand the past. That's why you got to understand the past to understand what's going on right now. These Gentiles do not understand the past, or they don't want to admit to the world the things that they did to the Most High's chosen people. But I'm going to show you how the Most High has never forgotten us. And it's in, let me see here, Jeremiah 31. And we'll go to 35 and 36. Has the Most High forgotten His people? No, we know He has not. But see, the rest of the world refuses to admit who the Most High's chosen people are. So then when these events happen, like the Vicar of Christ, title being taken away, the presidential shield being taken away from the podiums, they have no understanding as to why these things are happening. Let's see, Jeremiah 31, 35, and 36. Thus saith the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars of a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves therefore war. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Most High, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So, we still see the sun. We still see the moon. If you see those things up there in the sky, you still know that the Most High has a chosen people, and that he still loves those people, and that he is going to redeem those people. All the prophecies that it talks about in the Bible, as well as these other books, are going to be fulfilled. And pretty much a testament to that is that the sun is following its course and the moon is following its course. If they were not, then we would cease to be his people. But since you see those, those things in the sky daily, that's pretty much a testament that the Most High's chosen people are still here, and he's going to fulfill the prophecies that he set forth in all of our writings. So now you understand why, the Gentiles cannot break these things down, because they refuse to admit who the Most High's chosen people are. I hope this lesson explains a lot of things. And
now watch this. Let's show how much dominion and power that we have over the spiritual realm. You got to know our strength. Romans chapter 8. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor other creatures shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ our Lord. Let that marinate. No principalities, no demons, not even death, not space, not time, none of it will separate you from the love of the Most High. The love of the Most High don't bring fear. It brings peace. It has you operating on an even keel. Not this garbage that a lot of people are choosing to, I would say, indoctrinate themselves with. A lot of people are choosing to indoctrinate themselves with fear, conspiracy. When the truth is, we have more power than they would ever know. If you really chosen, you got more power than you would ever know. Well, you'll know in this video. You'll know, because I'm gonna let it be known. Let's see. King Gaddafi said, kings and queens, tap that like button, we in here. Absolutely. You right, fam. Big Sky, you right, it's all a distraction. Oh yeah, I'm most definitely gonna keep this up, fam. Most definitely. Most definitely. Isaiah 41:10 reads, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the hand of my righteousness. Fear thou not, I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. That's some fiber right there. I mean, a lot of people say they believers. A lot of people, They're not digging into the fiber of that word though, man. The Bible makes it real plain and simple for us. Makes it real plain and simple for us, y'all. Right now, we in a day and age where it's time to stop displaying the fear.
Proverbs 5. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell, lest thou shouldst ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger, and thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, How have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind, and pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me, and answer me. When thou saidst, Seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, Thy face, Lord, will I seek. Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies. Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. I had fainted, unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon a lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him, and show him my salvation. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 82. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly, and accept the persons of the wicked, Selah? Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, Ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Psalm 83. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah, and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever, yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the Most High over all the earth. Psalm 84. How amiable are thy tabernacles, O Lord of hosts! My soul longeth, yea, even fainteth for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh crieth out for the living God. Yea, the sparrow hath found an house, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young, even thine altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house, they will be still praising thee, Selah. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them, who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well. The rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength, every one of them in Zion appeareth before God. O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob, Selah. Behold, O God our shield, and look upon the face of thine anointed. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God, than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the man that trusteth in thee.